Hi, soul friends. It's Tannaz Hosseinpour, and welcome back to another short solo episode of the Minutes on Growth podcast. Today, we're going to talk about something that has truly transformed the way I experience life, and that is the belief that nothing is a coincidence and that everything is happening for us and not to us. When we start to see the universe as a supportive entity, one that's divinely guiding us through every challenge, every delay, and every redirection, it brings a certain sense of calm and trust that completely shifts our experience of reality. And so today I want to share some personal stories that highlight how this belief has shown up in my life and invite you to reflect on the beliefs that you're holding and how they're impacting your nervous system. Because recently someone asked me, how do you know for sure that everything is divinely guided? And I told them, no one knows anything for sure. But the real question is, which belief will enable you to live a calmer, more grounded experience of reality? And so for me, choosing to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should has allowed me to navigate challenges and delays with much more grace and ease. Now, this doesn't mean that when a challenge shows up, we let go and do nothing. It means we take inspired action from a grounded state. So let me share a recent example that perfectly illustrates this. So Ash and I were recently in Thailand and we had rented a bike and we were going to go see some beautiful waterfalls. Now, to get to the waterfall, we had to park the bike and then take a small bus. And after we enjoyed really the most beautiful waterfall that I've ever seen, we returned to the motorbike, and that's when Ash realized he didn't have the keys. So immediately he starts to panic and he was like, oh my God, what are we going to do now? And it was in that moment that I could see how the belief you hold changes everything. I took a slow, deep breath and I told him, we're going to figure this out together. Now, at this stage in my life, after doing all of the inner work and studying spirituality for over 15 years, I've come to trust that when something like this happens, whether it's losing something, facing a delay, or even a major challenge, it's happening for a reason. In Farsi and in Arabic, we have a beautiful word for this, which is khair, meaning there is a blessing behind it. Kabbalistically also, we know that when a challenge comes up, we pause and we say, what a pleasure. So as Ash panicked, I was able to stay grounded. And, he first thought that he might have dropped the keys in the waterfall, but I told him that's unlikely, like you would have felt it. So let's retrace our steps. I first went to the bike to, check around if he had left it in the bike. And then I went and asked the management to call the bus driver. They were super kind and they agreed. So they called the bus driver, but the bus driver wasn't answering. So they suggested to kind of drive us to the waterfall to look for the keys because they could see how distraught Ash was feeling. And as we were driving to the waterfall, we saw the bus driver. And the moment I saw him, I told Ash, pull out 100. I was like, pull out 100. We're going to give it to him. And he's like, how do you know the driver has the keys? I'm like, trust me. And so sure enough, when we reached him, so, we did a U-turn. We reached him, the driver had found the keys and at the bottom of his bus. So he got out, and this is the amazing part. The moment one of management staff saw us and the bus driver, in a very joking tone, he was like, you need to give him 100. And I was like, wow. I looked at Ash. I was like, wow, what are the odds that we both said the exact same thing? And so, we got the keys and we went to the bike, and I looked at Ash and I said, listen, honey, you were the vessel for this driver to receive this 100 today. That's why this happened. Now, I'm getting goosebumps even sharing this story because in that moment, when both of us had the same number in mind and the way everything unfolded, it was so powerful because, and this is something that I teach in the art of manifestation, the how is never up to us. And so how that driver was meant to manifest that 100, it wasn't up to him. Human beings are mediums and vessels for the universe to manifest through. Because even when we wanted to give him the 100, he said, no, I'm not doing this for money. I was like, no, you have to take this. And so nothing about this incident was random. It was really all divinely guided in my opinion. And so later that day, something else happened. After grabbing a bite to eat at KFC, we drove back to the hotel, and the drive from KFC to the hotel was around 30 minutes. Only for me to realize that I had left my bag behind at KFC. I never forget things. And so it was so odd. And my bag had my medicine, it had my wallet, and my credit cards, it had everything in it. And I just started to laugh. And Ash looked at me, he was like, wait a second, if we go back, because I had a session an hour after that, he's like, if we go back, we're barely going to make it. And I was like, listen, there is a reason we're not meant to be at the hotel right now, so let's just trust it. And we went back, and he's like, what if someone took your bag? I was like, let's trust the process. Let's trust whatever comes up, let's trust it. So we went back, and the staff at the restaurant, they were so kind. They had kept my bag safe. They asked me to check that everything was still inside. And in that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of safety and trust. Not just in the people around me, but in the universe as a whole. And I think that was so important because, we're expanding our business to Thailand. And I think that was the universe's way to tell us both that it's safe here. Now, whether the purpose of this delay was to, again, reaffirm my feeling of safety or whether it was to prevent us from being at the hotel at that certain time, I'll never know. For me, it was all about safety and trust. But that's the beauty of trusting, that everything is happening for us, even when it doesn't make immediate sense. So in both of these situations, I could have panicked. I could have spiraled into, why is this happening to me? Or why is this happening to us? Or I'm going to be late for my session. But instead, I chose to trust that there was a reason. And that belief, again, it's just a belief, completely changed my experience. Ash, on the other hand, was holding a different belief. And so his panic created a sense of stress and urgency that affected how he approached the situation. And that's why it's so important to ask yourself, what beliefs am I entertaining and how are they impacting my nervous system? Because our experience of reality is based on our thoughts, our opinions, our beliefs, and our perceptions. When we hold the belief that the universe is working for us, it allows us to stay calm, to take inspired action from a grounded place, from a regulated place. Again, it's not about being passive. It's about trusting that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. And your body is working with you because, again, you have a regulated nervous system. So when we have a regulated nervous system, the body is working with us instead of working against us. So friends, the next time life throws you a curveball, I invite you to pause and ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me? And Even, before a challenge shows up, taking that proactive approach of sitting down and asking yourself, what beliefs will allow me to experience life, to respond to life with more grace, with more trust, with more calm, with more ease. When we see life as divinely guided, we open ourselves up to a more grounded, peaceful way of being. We realize that every delay, every challenge is an opportunity for growth and alignment. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this podcast episode helpful. I hope that it resonated with you. Please feel free to share this with someone who might need this reminder. And until next time, take care, stay grounded, and trust that the universe has your back. Speak soon.